ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Namaskar, my dear friends. I am going to give you a very good video about the teachings of H.W.L. Poonja Sahib, word by word. Let there be peace and love among all beings of the universe. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. If you get rid of all that you have learned till now, heard till now, read till now, seen till now, then what is left you will return to yourself. Few people know this peaceful state of consciousness, of happiness, of bliss, of existence. In this discovery, everything ends. From here, all also start. This is the substratum which has always been concealed by thoughts from where they arise. Before the wave rises, it is ocean. Before desire moves, it is emptiness. If freedom is not here, then where is it? If freedom is not here now, then when will it happen? Who are you? Without any reference to the past. Thinking happens when you want to become something. Then you must think, but do not become something. What is there to do? Stay as you are. The natural state is a satisfied life, and the only way to know this state is to know one's true self, and you can only know this by making no effort. You are that emptiness in which all things appear and disappear. You are not any of them. Their activities and inactivities do not touch you. Their presence or their absence makes no difference to what you are. Always you are empty. Whatever causes suffering, don't do it. Don't touch it. Freedom is always here. It is the holiness that is missing. Love for the self is necessary for freedom. What can you offer the Supreme if your heart is already given up to something or someone else? Only a pure, unsmelt flower is offered to God. Be humble and devoted to the self. Nothing is required for freedom. Freedom is your real nature. It is so easy to be free because you need not do anything. The difficulty comes in disentangling yourself from the dream. Through enquiry, find out to whom has this dream arisen. When you seek the I, it disappears and you remain as the self, in peace, in quietness. To be, no effort is required. Thinking requires effort in stillness. You will know that there is no difference between the self and the illusion, between reality and the dream. Everything arises from peace, from stillness. That is why my master Ramana Maharshi says that which is in is peace. All that we need to do is to keep quiet. It takes effort to be bound, it takes no effort to be free. The devotee, the true devotee, is the heart of the divine. Quietness takes you back to freedom. All activities only a concept. We live in each other's mind and are sustained by each other's thoughts. When consciousness is freed from I, you, and world, it abides in its essential glory. Satsang with the Master is very beneficial. Not only does he give you freedom, but he also takes care of all your needs. Satsang means to live as truth itself, which means to live as the self, to live as pure consciousness. Self inquiry should continue every moment of your life naturally, like the act of breathing until your last breath. As the Maharshi says, inquire until there is no one left to inquire. When you stop thinking, you are no longer imagining things that are not true. Enquire who am I? Patiently, wisely, honestly enquire, turning your face towards awareness within. When you are face to face with self, only keep quiet. This quietness is no meditation. It does not stir the I thought. This quietness is the peace of let there be peace. The quietness is the eternal abode. The truth is beyond thought, concept, and conditioning, and this truth is what you are. So stop searching and simply be quiet. Do not stir a thought nor make any effort, and the truth will definitely reveal itself to itself. Only the truth is. The moment we are free from desire, the reality of the world vanishes. In fact, I do nothing to anyone. Everyone receives what he or she desires. Since I am the source of consciousness, I allow all desires to be fulfilled. Seeking of truth does not imply seeking anything anywhere whatsoever. Whatever you think, you become. So thinking of any name and form is the same as thinking of ego, mind, world, senses, illusion. If you must think of existence, consciousness, and bliss. The best is to simply know that I am that reality. This is the Kali Yuga, so even Rakshasas will incarnate as teachers to mislead you. Those who must be destroyed by these demons will be you must test your Guru, look at their peace, their lineage and their teaching. Without inquiry there is no teaching. If in the midst of all forms one can see that they are unreal, one perceives the truth. These misleading teachers are like the mind, just stay as awareness beyond mind, much beyond it. Mind gives you doubts, fears, worries, and keeps you unaware of that beyond the mind. The role of mind in the play is to keep the person in the dark in the past. Where there is no attachment to mind, there is no time or past. This is the ultimate truth. Nothing is born, nothing is destroyed. Birth and death are perceived through the illusion of the mind. Fix your mind on the source, give up all desires, and do not look at anything. In knowing reality, you can easily enjoy the illusory world inside you, abide alone, and yet you play in the outside Leela, illusory world. The world is here to enjoy, nothing ever happens. The highest goal is gained by those who know that which is never known. Meditation is always beneficial even after enlightenment, because what else can you do? Meditation means not attaching yourself to anything which is not everlasting. This keeps you at home. Sit and meditate as much as you can. Why run about when you have found peace of mind? Freedom does not depend on what you have done. You have not to do anything. Simply stay quiet and don't give rise to any thought whatsoever. You are not to think for a second, then you see what happens. That is anything what you get you will lose. So you have to be as you have always are by not touching anything which is not eternal. If you do not touch them every minute, you will see that you always been free. Freedom cannot be won by any practice. From practice, you can only gain material objects. There is no way to freedom. Way means that you have to start from somewhere and arrive somewhere else. You need a way only when there is some distance to travel from where you are. But for freedom, you do not have to go anywhere else. This creation of distance is the deception of the mind, so forget about any way and even forget about freedom. And if you do stay wherever you are, stay as you are, where you are, instantly you will know that you are already that which you wanted. The search ends. There is no meaning in searching something which has never been lost. Simply keep quiet and don't stir a thought from the mind. Then you will know who you really are. Simply keep quiet, then you will see that you achieve everything. Everything comes to you. If you don't ask for anything, everything is offered to you. If you run after things, nothing can come to you. Krishna has said, when the world around you is sleeping, you keep awake, and when they are awake, you sleep. It means that which they are doing when they are awake to their senses, you don't do. Chasing desire is called sleep. When they sleep, you remain awake as self knowing I am self. They are not doing this, therefore they are sleeping. They will not get anything and they will repeat later, repent later. While these people are flowing downstream, you go upstream up to the source. The whole world is sleeping and the wise man is awake. He knows that it is all a dream. With the help of your own desire for abiding happiness, for abiding bliss, for freedom, you will discover something beyond that which can be called consciousness. In the realization of consciousness, you have attained everything that is worth attaining. It is complete and perfect. It is liberation. Your nature is happiness. Love, awakening, happiness, joy, peace comes from your own heart and not from anyone else. Silence is in your heart. You cannot get it anywhere else. How to arrive there? By not making any use of your mind or by not holding on to any object outside of the heart. You don't think. Only keep quiet in just 1 second. You can get peace in a half second. Even half of the half second is quite enough to give you wisdom, light, and happiness. Don't allow any thought to interfere. But nobody spends even a quarter of a second on himself. He spends 90 years loving other people and later suffers. Know who are you. In deep sleep, who are you? It is not a name or form. Find out who you are right now. Mind means thought. There is no difference between mind and thought. Can you tell me any thought which does not belong to the past? That which appeared has to disappear. Whatever you see, smell, hear, taste, or touch is not real. You don't need any practice. You may be here in Lucknow or you may be in Jerusalem, but it does not make any difference. What has to be changed is the peace of mind. I tell you that you are already in peace and you have not to get it in Lucknow. What you get in Lucknow, you are going to lose it one day. Here you only learn, I am already free, I was already free, I will always be free. If you have the conviction that I am suffering, then why can you not have the conviction that I don't suffer? So don't think that you are going to get anything new. You are only advised that you are already that, then what are you going to lose here, there, or anywhere? Your work has got nothing to do with your peace of mind. Where does the strength to work come from? Go back now and see what happens, and that is the source of all work. So, if you know this, then you are not going to lose it. You have to do it. You don't have to think. Simply go back and see what is the source of thought of activity. Nobody is even born and nobody is even going to die. This is the truth. Doubt is the only obstacle to enlightenment. If you don't have any doubt, then you are enlightened. Knowing that I am not the body is quite enough for enlightenment. Simply say, I am that, I am not the body, I am not the senses, not even the mind. There is no difference between dreaming and waking. Even now you are dreaming, this is also a dream. If it is not a dream, then it must constantly remain. Reality does not disappear. What disappears is a dream because it is not true. Truth never disappears. So if you have seen that I am not the body, I am that, then this will not disappear. This is reality. Whatever you gain will be lost one day, it will not remain with you forever. The explanations I give you may be understood by the mind, but this is not the real understanding. Real understanding cannot be heard nor understood and cannot even enter the mind. If you don't allow the mind to create a distance, who goes and where does he go? There is only one true master and he is unknown. He has no name, no form and no abode. Do not accept the notion that there is something superior inside compared to the outside. You are neither outside nor inside. Your preconceived idea that I must experience the inner presence will give you an experience of an inner presence, but it will just be a mental experience brought about by you. Your belief that there is an inner presence that can be experienced. Give up this idea and stay quiet. You have the idea that letting go is something that you have to do. To move from one place to another may be difficult if the journey is long and hard. But if you don't have to move at all, how can you say that it is difficult? Just give up the idea that you have to do something or reach somewhere. That's all you have to do. You have been conditioned to believe that the rope is a snake. The master is needed to convince you that the rope is really a rope. He just tells you about what is true and real because you insist in believing in what is untrue and unreal. Once you have found your original nature, you do not need a master anymore. That which appears has to disappear. The master speaks the word of truth and the disciple listens. When there is no thought of result or consequences, the original state reveals itself to the disciple who then functions spontaneously. It just happens by itself. The I does not run away, it is you that runs away when God appears. Real emptiness is not frightening. If you experienced fear or fright, it was not in a state of emptiness. You have never allowed yourself to experience the emptiness that is empty of all objects. Reject all known impressions, all pictures borrowed from the familiar world of your memory. To think there is no mind is still thinking. Thinking and not thinking are both normal functions of the mind. But in your natural being there is no thought. When the mind that discriminates disappears, what is left is the original state. This is what some people call prajna or enlightenment. A mind that does not think thoughts, which is free of the idea of no thought as well, can be called a free mind. Thought and no thought exist in relation to each other. They are both properties of the mind. No mind is something else. It has no connection with anything. When the mind is so undressed, then it is free even of no thinking. There will be nothing left of mind. While there is mental state of no thought, there is still a place where objects can land. But when no thought is thrown away, leaving only no mind, objects cannot land anymore. In fact, in that state, there are no objects at all. The mind exists in its name only and has no form of its own. From the absolute point of view, the mind does not exist. Don't give rise to any thought. Here is beauty. This beauty is self itself. When you stop taking outside activity for real and know yourself as it always is, you will be eternally happy. Self is prior to all activities, all thought. Without self, nothing could appear. When a man is alive, he has relations, wife, son, in-laws, and so on. When the same man is dead, he no longer has any relation. When you are alive, all these relations exist in relationship to the I thought. I have a wife, I have sons, I have in-laws. When that I thought is there, everything else is there along with it. This world and all the relationships you have in it. I am asking you to find out what this I thought is, find out where it arises from. If you can find the solution to this, you will be safe from suffering. You will have solved the problem of thinking and the imaginary problem that it brings into being. If you don't address this problem of I thought, you will end up following the other sheep of the world. You will follow the sheep in front of you, and all of you will be herded around by the shepherd who is following you with a big stick. Even flock of sheep is herded by a shepherd. If you stay as a sheep, you will need a shepherd to tell you what to do and where to go. But you have never seen a herd of lion being herded by a shepherd. The lion makes its own way, makes its own route. It follows no one and no one tells it where it should and should not go. To find freedom, you stop being a sheep. You have to stop doing and believing what everyone else does. No action can lead to happiness. Happiness is already here in doing nothing. You are already that. This understanding will rise up and reveal itself to you. Wherever you go, I am. When you wake up from the waking dream to awareness of the self, you find yourself in the place where there are no names and forms. You understand yourself to be the unmoving substratum on which all the transitory images, the names and forms comes and go. You understand yourself to be screen on which all the names and forms are projected. When you are rooted in that place, that knowledge, names and forms will no cause suffering anymore. You have to identify with the underlying screen, not with the transient images that appear and disappear on it. That screen is your own true nature. It has no location. It is at no distance from you. No vehicle is needed to transport you there. Truth is absolute and immaculate. When you have lost the concept of duality of two, oneness also goes. This is the ultimate and final truth. There is no bondage, no liberation, and no one even aspiring for liberation. Investigation and analyzing your beliefs will not help you unless you choose as the subject for any examination the ego that all these beliefs. The primary mistake everyone makes is to seek happiness from transactions that involve the senses. You have to be serious and you have to want freedom to the exclusion of everything else. Whatever you experience, reject it. Drop the idea that you are on a route to destination. This place where the I vanishes is wisdom. Find the thoughtfulness that is there between thoughts. Who and where is this I that wants to be free? This question, who am I, will give you an answer that you have never heard before. You have forgotten the purpose for which you incarnated. In silence, the witness cannot be witnessed. In silence, there is nothing and everything from beginning to end. There are billions of beings. There is no witnessing. This is called being, only being. Who can witness being? Everything is being, just be. In being, there is past, present, future. You are the past, you are the present, you are the future. In being, there are billions of beings. You are all being, so what is there to witness? Can you say, I witness my hand, I witness my foot? No, because you are one and the same thing. You cannot step out of being. Being has no frontiers, no limitation, no time, no space. Where can you go and where can you see? Approaching the self is like walking the razors, as two cannot walk together. You cannot bring your mind nor even a thought. The only one who can help you is the self. Anything that touches this flame becomes a flame. Touch a sage and you become this. You become a sage. Knowing self, you see only self, and this self is your teacher. Eventually, you have to get rid of the name and form of both master and yourself. You have to reject the fingers in order to see the moon. Where there is name and form, there is falsehood. It is an impediment to freedom because nothing you see will give you freedom. Hold on only to self when you are drowning. Reach for anything else and you will die. The Satguru is within. Meditate only on that. The true teacher is self. All else is pointing to self. Don't cling to anything made from the five elements. The Guru has no body, visible or invisible. Do not depend on anybody. The bodies are just fingers pointing to the truth. Reject the form of the Guru and only the Supreme is left. Now is the time to have a direct introduction to this moment. This moment is free of time, of mind, of any notions. Introduce yourself to this moment. If you listen, if you long for freedom and you feel I am honest, when I tell you that you are free, then accept it. Hear this only once and you are free. Simply keep quiet, do not do anything and it will happen. Abandon itself with the intention to get something in the next moment. Don't even make the distinction between this moment and the next moment. Then something will happen instantaneously. Maya, the illusory dream, appears together with the I. Once you realize who you are, the one reality, then many are seen as one. That one is the eternal source and the fountain of peace. If the source of Maya is peace, then the nature of Maya must be peace. Mind is Maya, Maya is only mind. Only thoughts, so the nature of thoughts is peace. Thought arises from the fountain of peace. Return to the source and remain as that. This is your true nature. Whenever you think I has to arise, world and I are world and I arise simultaneously. Look towards that which is aware of the I. There is no difference between I and thought. I is a thought. Look towards that which is aware of thought. That is wisdom, peace, stillness, happiness, and eternal love, and is the abode of your beloved. Sit down and decide for yourself what is good for you and follow that. Don't listen to anyone. The whole world is deceiving you. The whole world may be against you. So you have to make your own decisions. Don't listen to parents, your society, or your preachers. When your desires subside, you will know that nothing has ever existed. When you realize the one, the many will not be seen. You are dreaming when you see name and form. You do not need to do anything. You stop, be quiet. You are not required to do anything to know who you are. If you don't want anything other than truth, instantly you will see that truth which is always present. Each time that you think there is attachment and this inevitably causes suffering, freedom is found in the thought-free space between thoughts. All is in this moment. We live in each other's mind and are sustained by each other's thoughts. Events arise due to latent desires. In reality, no event has ever taken place. Thought is empty, world is empty, mind only creates the illusion that something is happening right now, nothing is happening. I am, I am, and that is all. I am the source of all is nothing, I am nothing at all. Ego can never be silent and needs so many things to sustain itself. True being requires nothing. Silence is the realization that all is nothing. In silence, you are lovely and are peace itself. I am that silent presence which is eternal. This is who am I. Old habits and body karmas persist for some time, but you remain uninvolved. Peace is your nature. How could behavior of mind and body affect you? All arises from peace, from silence. You may believe that you are free or not, but freedom is beyond belief. You are already free. You are always free. It is difficult to understand that this is so big. You must only do it. Let the thoughts rise and subside like waves moving along the surface of the ocean. The ocean is not concerned with the rising or the playing or the falling of the waves. It knows that the waves cannot leave because the waves are ocean. Having no other desire apart from the desire for freedom is called pure mind. Kabir says, remove your veil and you will see your own beloved seated in your heart. What is this veil? Arrogance, egoism. That is the only veil between you and your beloved who is waiting for you. When you see name and form, you are under the delusion of the mind. Don't stay with or depend on anything that has name and form. Stay with the Guru who has no name and form. Stay with formlessness. You have troubled your mind for millions of years by asking it to provide temporary happiness in an imaginary worldly existence. Stop asking it for anything and just be still. Then you will see the truth that only your self is real and that all worldly existence is just the imagination of mind. Stop imagining that you are something else and self will shine eternally. All darkness will vanish forever. Do nothing, ask nothing, be nothing, and the self will instantly appear. In present being, you are the self, your true nature is bliss, happiness, love, beauty, peace, true knowledge, and eternity. You will fall in love with it because it is love itself. It has never left you, and from now on, you will never want to leave it. Until now, fear have prevented you from being yourself. Thinking that I have to give up everything has scared you for millions of years. When there is no thought, you need to be changed or attained. Remain with your own being, with your own self. In the self, all desires are fulfilled. When there are no more desires, you are at peace. When you have no concern for any object, people, or ideas, this is peace, this is bliss. The world has appeared through desire, through ego. Self is free from all desire. It is the ego who has endless desire. The I rises and with it arises desire, ego and world. All these are just thoughts. From where does the I arise? Follow the I thought back to its source and remain as that. Return to the source of all thoughts, to that transcendental state where words have no meaning. Words have no meaning. You cannot describe that. That eternity cannot be described. So the best is to keep quiet. If a thought rises, find out from where it arose. When you dig at the root, you will enter a place where you will be unable to speak. Words, thoughts, and fears are all outside of you. At the source, nothing needs to be done. You know that nothing has ever existed outside of your own being. This is peace, happiness, and bliss. Keep quiet and be as you are. Someone who does not know this truth, nature imposes another nature onto himself. He becomes something else. Surrender this imposition and remain as you truly are. In true love, everything that is not yourself drops off. Supreme devotion is not to give rise to a single thought. The truth cannot be spoken of or described by words. Don't try to understand what is spoken here. Don't try to listen, even don't try to have any notion. And hope that I will be free, no ideas about what freedom is, then the Supreme itself will enter into your heart and sit down permanently because it is already there, walking, taking, walking, talking, sleeping, dreaming, or awakening each day. Always keep in touch with yourself. In freedom, there is no right and no wrong. In freedom, there is freedom from right and wrong. In freedom, there is no process or way, no where, no there, no that, no in, no out, no will, no depth, no understanding. Only an unwise person seeks to repeat old experiences. A wise person knows that every experience, every delight is fleeting and all will not touch it. Everyone in the world is unhappy. Not a single person finds happiness because they delight in old experiences. There is something very precious which is not stored in memory and it will bring lasting satisfaction and bliss. With the help of your own desire for abiding happiness, bliss, and freedom, you will discover something beyond consciousness. In that discovery, you have attained everything that is worth attaining. It is complete and perfect. Stillness is the greatest achievement one can have in life. Make sure that no desire arises by just keeping still. You will be so immaculately beautiful, so perfectly pure and spotless that everything will instantaneously unfold before you. The Guru has no name and no form, and there is no difference between Guru itself, Guru self, and who you are. You are eternal self. When you know this, you will keep quiet because there is nothing else to know. Beyond name and form, you remain eternally present, silent, and immobile. All that rises from self. All that falls to self. All that is present is self. When the wave rises from the ocean is not affected. The wave rises when falls back to the ocean. Ocean remains an ocean. Likewise, the eye, the body, and the mind, the intellect, the senses, and the worldly objects all rise from reality. Yet reality is not affected. Eternity has nothing to do with anything that appears then disappears. Reality remains forever. It is who you are. You may be doing many things in the world, but if there is no attachment to the outcome, to the objects of action, you remain free. The Sadguru is one and within you, nowhere else. He is in the hearts of all being. By His grace, you will look within to your true Guru. This is what Ramana Maharshi teaches. Peace of mind is within you and you need not go anywhere else. Peace is unfolding itself to you. Abide as the self and do your duty in the world without being attached to them in any way. If you go to the cremation ground in Varanasi, you will see dead bodies burning in the fire. If you wait for a while, you will see that in the end nothing remains except for a few ounces of ashes. You will understand that your body to which are strongly attached is the same as the other bodies which have been burnt. Everyone who goes to a cremation or burial ground receives this short-lived lesson. You learn that everybody will eventually be burnt to ashes one day, but soon afterwards you forget this truth. You should permanently keep this truth in mind. This will help you to fulfill the purpose for which you wear this human body. Afterwards, let your body be taken to cremation ground. You will be happy which is burnt. Death is not our nature. Your nature is eternity, to be free of death and rebirth of sorrow and suffering. Who you are is pure consciousness, freedom itself. You need not attain this freedom, you need only to realize it. The ocean of eternal peace is you. What is the difference that we suffer from? It is that we seek peace elsewhere and do not experience that we are peace incarnate itself. When your when your intoxication depends on somebody else, you are cheating yourself, you are deceiving yourself. No good intoxication will come from any source other than yourself. Nobody will give you happiness, nobody will give you peace. find out yourself. Only a confused mind will think that there is happiness elsewhere. Love and beauty will arise if you are quiet for this single instant, then you will attain everything. Reality is that which always exists and never changes. There was a time when there was only peace and nothing else. Even the creator was not created, let alone the creation. Only by returning there will you find your, not by meditating or doing anything else. Here and now we can rediscover this source, this fountain of peace from where all thoughts arise. No one is willing to take this return journey back to the beginning. Satsang is to know the truth alone. What is the existence of a bubble in the ocean? Waste no time seeking, forget what you search for before the sun rises early in the morning. It does not first try to remove the darkness of the night. The sun does not say, let me brush away the darkness and only then in the daytime I will rise. For the sun there is no light, there is no darkness to be removed. You are all lines, so go your own way. Do not follow any path. Lines do not follow each other like sheep. Look within at this light. With this light you will see your eternal face. You will see your own beauty for the first time. You have not to do anything. You are doing or not doing anything, you still see the same thing. We are all one. There is no separation between us, only we do not realize it. Everything is related to you. First, help yourself, which means to not think, and then if you still need to, you can ask me for help. You have to simply become aware of this moment of the mind which begins this endless trouble, that something is arising out of consciousness is only a concept, and it is this which gives rise to myth of an individual identity. I am is the first moment of the mind, and from here arises the trouble. Make sure that no desire arises, and you will be immaculately beautiful, so perfectly pure and spotless that everything and instantaneously be unfolding before you. Then this beauty will hug beauty itself. Quietness is young nature and the substratum of everything that is seen. When you are in meditation, you do not need to look after yourself. A power will arise which is moving the earth, which is causing the sun to shine, which is giving the moon is its brilliance. If you are attuned to that power, you will have nothing to do and everything will be beautiful. That power will look after in a way you cannot manage. Actually, nobody is born and nobody dies. It is the mind that gives birth to this whole world. This person is just a temporary appearance in the unchanging itself. Just keep quiet and then see what you really need. All happiness comes from the self, all trouble, sorrow, and suffering comes from the mind. You are complete here and now. You do not need the sheep's food nor any religious, because you are always free. You become a slave to anything that you desire. All thoughts are lies. Just forget everything and stay quiet. All thought comes from nowhere, it must be nothing. How can something exist in nothing? Be here, you need not think or use mind. This is peace and beauty. Happiness and sorrow depends on something and can be lost. Freedom from everything depends on nothing and cannot be lost. The universe is but a long dream. The ego sense and the idea that there are others are as real as dream objects. Self alone remains when all points of view are abandoned. The question who does what and how is absurd. After all appearances are rejected, the truth remains. When the truth is known, all descriptions cease and silence alone remains. The individual, the world, and the supreme self are all concepts. If there is craving, do not fulfill it. What difficulty is there in this? Everything is as it is. Nothing has ever been created, nothing has happened, and nothing is going to happen. The root cause of duality is that you sensed your own Beingness, the very experience of your beingness is untrue. Concepts arise when infinite consciousness views itself as the object of perception. Keep your mind motion all at times.